Hey, what's up? It's Jake from Nimbus DevOps, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up your Proxmox virtual machines to use Ansible. In this example, I'm going to be kind of redoing the third step of Kubernetes the hard way, and we're going to be implementing the hosts file across all of my virtual machines using a Jinja template. It's a fairly easy example, so hopefully it makes sense. So first up, I've got my 4 virtual machines here ready to go, and I have created my Ansible user and SSH keys, and so you want to go through that process. Basically what you want to do is you want to SSH whatever way you have, whether through the console or through a terminal, to each one of your servers. Once logged in, you want to create a user for Ansible, user add Ansible, and then you'll want to do user mod AG root Ansible, or your operating system may use the wheel group, but you want to basically give your Ansible user super user access. Then you'll want to go into the home directory for Ansible and make sure that you have a SSH directory. Once you have your SSH directory, you want to create a authorized keys file and put your public key in this authorized keys file, and also make sure that everything is owned by Ansible and not root when you make it. Basically, make an Ansible user and get the key over there. Once you have your Ansible user ready to go, we can go ahead and start doing some testing. In order to do this, we're going to start out with an inventory file. So what I've done here is I've created an inventory file where I actually use the short name like jumpbox server node 0 and node 1 and defined an Ansible host IP address for these to resolve. This will give me the added flexibility of being able to do things with a short name and not having to type out IP addresses all the time. Next, there's some variables that you're going to need. So you need to make a group vars directory, and inside there make a folder called, or a file called all.yaml. In here, I'm going to define my Ansible user, which is the Ansible user that we created on each virtual machine. I'm going to define the location of my private key, and I'm also going to define my Ansible Python interpreter so it knows which version of Python to use. The Python interpreter part is optional, but it will clean up your output so you don't have all these warnings about deprecation. And now we're ready to do a ping test. To do the ping test, I'm just going to run the following command: Ansible all -i inventory.yaml module ping. Oops, I need to use the right spelling of YAML. And we can get a ping and a pong from each of our systems, except one that's being slow. Unreachable. Okay, so we got a timeout on our node 1. So let's go find out. Let's try to ping it directly. Ping node 1. These WSL networks are not super reliable. All right, let's try this again. There we go. So that's the first thing you want to do. You want to be able to make sure that you can ping everything in your inventory. This will definitely let you know that your configuration is valid and that all of your connections are good to go. Next up, we're going to do the hosts file. So I made a playbook called hosts file, and it's pretty simple. All it does is take the in the templates directory, the hosts.j2 file, and sticks it on etc hosts on the server. It's owned by root. Here's the mode. And this is what's in the host file. It's just the local host set as home, and then all the IP addresses with fully qualified domain names and short friendly names for each node in my cluster. Now it's the fun part. All right, let's update our host files. If you run into this missing sudo password error, you just need to go add no password into the vi sudo. I forgot to do that on these 3 servers. All right, now let's try to update our inventory. My network sucks, so one of them is going to time out, but we can see that 2 of them have been changed and 1 of them is fine. So let's go make a change to our template. Let's put in here that it's managed by Ansible so people know. Host file managed by Ansible. Now we want to update everything. All right, let's update your inventory everywhere. And just like that, all of our host files should now say host file managed by Ansible with the updated contents. Let's go double check. Let's log into node 1. Let's cat the etc hosts, and we can see here host file managed by Ansible. Perfect. So now every time I want to do something to all my systems, I can just use Ansible and it's all version controlled in my code. Anytime you're changing files like this, you should be using Jinja templates. So this is a nice little starter for Jinja template learning, and also just kind of like getting your feet wet with Ansible and seeing what it can do. So use your imagination and think about how you might use it in your own lab. So this was automating step 3 of Kubernetes the hard way. Just getting my host file and everything out there. All my SSH keys are in my OpenTofu stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and add my Ansible SSH key into OpenTofu as well. And then this thing will be completely automated. So next time if I get to the end of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely destroy my Homelab, and I'm going to see if I can bring it back to life with code. If you have any questions, let me know. But if not, my name is Jake with Nimbus DevOps, and this was automating Homelab stuff for Kubernetes with Ansible.